Gentlemen, let's have a real talk. If you're a man over 50 and you still masturbate, have you ever stopped and asked yourself, is this helping me or hurting me? Is it keeping me healthy or quietly draining my strength? You might have wondered in silence, is this bad for my prostate? Does it mess with my hormones? Could it be making me weaker as a man? You're not alone. I've had dozens of patients sit across from me, lower their voice, and ask that same question. Doctor, be honest. Should I still be doing this? And I always tell them, you deserve real answers. Not fear, not shame, not the half-truths you find online. Because here's the truth, most of what men believe about masturbation and aging comes from outdated myths, cultural guilt, and a complete misunderstanding of male biology. What if I told you that self-pleasure, done the right way, could actually protect your prostate, boost your testosterone naturally, and even keep your erections stronger? Sounds unbelievable, right? But the science will surprise you. Today, I'm going to strip away the shame, cut through the noise, and show you the real story behind what happens when older men touch themselves, for better or for worse. And I'll warn you, the last thing I share in this video is something no one talks about, but it could completely change how you see your body. So stay with me till the end, because what you learn today might just redefine what it means to be a confident man over 60. Let's start with the biggest myth of all. For generations, men have been told the same thing, that masturbation makes you weak, that it drains your energy, that it ruins your hormones, that it somehow steals your masculinity. Maybe you heard it from an older relative, a coach, or something passed around in locker room whispers. Maybe even from religious or cultural beliefs that made it sound shameful or dangerous. But here's the truth. Science doesn't agree. Modern medicine has studied this deeply. And what we now know is almost the complete opposite of what we were told. Self-pleasure isn't a form of weakness. It's a natural biological process that helps your body stay in balance. It regulates your hormones, it supports your prostate health, and it can even improve your mood and sleep. Think about this. Your body produces semen every single day. If that fluid just sits there, it can build pressure, cause congestion, and lead to discomfort or inflammation in the prostate. Ejaculation, whether through sex or masturbation, is part of the body's natural cleansing cycle. It's like an oil change for your reproductive system. But the problem is this: the internet is filled with noise. Retention gurus, detox myths, and unqualified people telling men to never release. That kind of misinformation has made millions of men feel guilty for doing something completely normal and even beneficial. So here's what I want you to know. Self-pleasure is not your enemy. Shame is. When done mindfully, in moderation, it can actually strengthen your confidence, not weaken it. But to truly understand why, you need to see what's happening inside your body every time it happens. And once you understand the science, you'll never see this simple act the same way again. Let's break it down. Let's talk about what really happens inside your body. Because after 50, things change, whether you want them to or not. Your testosterone starts to drop. Blood flow to the pelvic region slows down. Tissues lose elasticity, and the prostate, that walnut-sized gland just below your bladder, becomes more sensitive to inflammation. All of these changes can affect your performance, your confidence, and even your energy levels. Now here's the part most men never hear. Your body depends on regular, healthy circulation to keep the entire system functioning. And every time you get an erection, you're sending oxygen-rich blood into the spongy tissue called the corpora cavernosa. That blood flow keeps the tissue flexible and alive. It's like stretching a muscle. If you never use it, it starts to tighten and weaken. So when you stimulate yourself, you're not just chasing pleasure, you're actually giving your penis a kind of natural physical therapy. Same goes for your prostate. Harvard researchers discovered that men who ejaculate at least 21 times a month have a 33% lower risk of prostate cancer. Why? Because every ejaculation flushes out old fluid, toxins, and inflammatory substances from inside the prostate ducts. Think of it like draining a filter. If you never clear it out, it starts to clog and irritate the system. On a hormonal level, masturbation doesn't drain testosterone. In fact, studies show it helps regulate it. When you climax, you release dopamine and oxytocin, chemicals that balance stress hormones and support testosterone recovery afterward. That's why many men notice. They feel calmer, lighter, and even more focused afterward, not weaker. Your body isn't losing energy, it's resetting it. So, when done consciously, this simple act becomes a maintenance tool for your mind, your mood, and your manhood. And that brings us to something most men over 50 never consider. The way you do it matters just as much as the fact that you do it. Because when it's done right, the benefits can go far beyond pleasure. They can actually strengthen your health in ways that might surprise you. Let me show you how. Let's start with what I call maintenance for the machinery. When you're younger, you don't think twice about blood flow, elasticity, or performance. But as the years pass, you begin to notice subtle changes. Erections may not be as firm or frequent. It takes longer to recover, and sometimes you start wondering if something is wrong. Here's the good news. There's a reason, and there's a solution. Benefit number 1, penile health. Each erection pumps new blood into the penis. That blood delivers oxygen and nutrients to the tiny vessels and smooth muscles that keep things working properly. Without that circulation, the tissue can stiffen, a process called fibrosis. And when that happens, erections become weaker, less frequent, and harder to maintain. Masturbation, in moderation, acts like physical therapy. It's movement, it's blood flow, it's maintenance, like taking your car out for a drive to keep the engine running smoothly. Benefit number 2, prostate protection. Your prostate constantly produces fluid. If that fluid sits too long, it can irritate the gland and increase the risk of inflammation or even cancer. Researchers at Harvard found that men who ejaculated around 21 times a month were 33% less likely to develop prostate cancer later in life. Every time you release, you're flushing out old fluid and toxins from the prostate ducts. It's a natural detox, built right into your biology. But it's not just about the numbers. It's about rhythm. Your body thrives on regularity, not excess, not deprivation, just balance. When you understand that, you stop seeing self-pleasure as something shameful. You start seeing it as an act of care, a way to keep your body functional, responsive, and alive. And here's something most men don't realize. These benefits extend far beyond the physical. They touch your mind, your energy, and even your emotional well-being, because your sexual health and your mental health are deeply connected. And in the next part, you'll see how this simple, private act can transform your mood, reduce stress, and even rebuild your confidence. Here's something most men don't realize. Your brain and your body speak the same language. Every time you release, your nervous system sends a wave of chemical messages through your entire body. Your heart rate slows, your blood pressure steadies, your muscles unclench, and your stress hormones drop. That's not weakness. That's recovery. When you climax, your brain releases dopamine and oxytocin, the same chemicals responsible for joy, trust, and calm. That's why afterward, you often feel more at peace, more patient, and more centered. Oxytocin also promotes sleep by lowering cortisol, the stress hormone that keeps you awake at night. For older men struggling with insomnia, this can be one of the most natural, side-effect-free solutions you'll ever find. Then there's your pelvic floor, those deep muscles at the base of your body that support your bladder, prostate, and even erectile strength. During orgasm, those muscles. That's not random. That's exercise. Each contraction strengthens the pubococcygeus and surrounding pelvic muscles. It's like doing Kegels for men, without even thinking about it. A stronger pelvic floor means better control, better blood flow, and better performance. Now let's talk about mood. Men in their 50s, 60s, and 70s often carry silent stress, financial pressure, relationship strain, loneliness. That tension doesn't just live in your mind, it shows up in your body. Tight muscles, shallow breathing, elevated blood pressure. A healthy release, done mindfully, can dissolve that buildup. It's like pressing a reset button for your entire nervous system. One of my patients, a 64-year-old retired teacher, once told me, "Doc, I sleep better on the nights I take care of myself." He wasn't imagining it. Science confirms it. Self-pleasure, when approached with awareness, doesn't drain life from you. It returns it. It restores calm, builds strength from the inside, and even trains your brain to stay connected with your body. And that last part, awareness, is more powerful than most men realize. Because knowing your own body isn't just about pleasure, it's about protection. Let me explain. As men age, they often start to lose touch with their own bodies. Little changes go unnoticed. A small ache here, a bit of curvature, a slight decrease in sensitivity, and because no one talks about it, these signs get ignored. But here's the truth. Men who know their bodies catch problems earlier, respond faster to treatment, and age with more confidence. Masturbation, when done consciously, helps you stay in tune with your own anatomy. You begin to recognize what feels normal and what doesn't. You'll notice changes in firmness, texture, or even pain, sometimes before any medical test would. I've had patients discover the early signs of Peyronie's disease or testicular cancer simply because they were familiar with how their bodies normally felt. Awareness saves lives. But it doesn't stop there. After orgasm, your body releases a combination of oxytocin, prolactin, and serotonin, a cocktail that helps you relax deeply and fall asleep faster. That's why so many men report sleeping better afterward. Your heart rate slows, your breathing steadies, your brainwaves shift into the calm rhythms of deep sleep, and over time, that better sleep translates into better recovery, better focus, and even better testosterone balance. Then there's circulation. Every erection, every climax, flushes fresh blood through your pelvic region, keeping the prostate, bladder, and vessels healthy. That same circulation supports erectile strength and even urinary control. But here's one of the most underrated benefits: control. Regular mindful self-stimulation can help retrain your body to manage arousal more effectively. If you've ever struggled with finishing too quickly, this practice gives you a safe, private way to practice control, to learn when to slow down, pause, or breathe through the intensity. That kind of awareness translates directly to intimacy with a partner. You become more confident, more patient, and more present. And perhaps the most beautiful part of all, it keeps your desire alive. Because desire is like a muscle too. If you stop using it, the brain's arousal circuits begin to quiet down. Regular, moderate self-pleasure keeps those neural pathways active, so when intimacy comes your way, your body and mind are ready to respond. So, no, this isn't weakness, it's awareness, it's self-respect. It's how you stay connected to the very essence of being a man. But like anything powerful, there's another side to it. When done without balance, it can start working against you. Let's talk about that side next. Like anything in life, what helps you in moderation can hurt you in excess. Masturbation is no different. It's not the act itself that's harmful. It's how, when, and why you do it. And that's where a lot of older men accidentally cross the line. Sometimes it's out of habit, sometimes boredom, sometimes loneliness, and sometimes as a way to escape from the world instead of connecting with it. That's where the danger begins. Because when self-pleasure turns into isolation, you stop reaching for real intimacy. You stop talking, you stop touching, you stop feeling. It's easy to slip into that quiet space, one where your world shrinks to a screen, a routine, and a momentary release. But the truth is, men were never meant to live disconnected. Your biology thrives on touch, on human warmth, on emotional connection. Masturbation should complement your life, not replace it. Then there's the physical side. Too much friction, no lubrication, and repetition without rest can cause irritation. Tiny micro tears on the skin, leading to inflammation or infection. It's small at first, but over time, it can dull sensitivity and cause discomfort. And here's another thing, the brain adapts. If you always do it the same way, same rhythm, same speed, same pressure, your nervous system learns that pattern. Eventually, only that pattern works. That's called desensitization. It's when you start noticing you can perform solo, but struggle with a partner. That's a warning sign. It could also be a clue to something deeper, like low testosterone, diabetes, or vascular problems that restrict blood flow. Ignoring those signs can cost you more than you think, because what starts as a private frustration can be the first signal of a larger medical issue. So yes, there are risks, but the good news is every one of them can be fixed or prevented, when you know how. In the next section, we'll go over the main risks in detail and the simple ways to protect yourself from every single one, because I want you to keep the benefits without paying the price. Let's go deeper into the real-world risks and how to keep them from creeping into your life. The first is social isolation. When masturbation becomes your main source of comfort, you start choosing it over real connection. You stop calling friends. You stop reaching out. Days blur together. The fix? Be intentional. Use it to complement your emotional life, not to replace it. Human touch, conversation, laughter. Those are still the best medicines for the soul. Second, skin irritation and micro tears. When there's too much friction, especially without lubricant, you create tiny wounds. They're invisible at first, but over time they cause inflammation, burning, or infection. The fix? Use a quality water-based lubricant. Treat your skin with care. It deserves respect, not punishment. Third, desensitization. When you repeat the same movement with the same pressure every time, the brain begins to tune it out. Suddenly, real intimacy feels less exciting, less responsive. The fix? Change it up. Switch hands, slow down, change rhythm, or take a short break. Let your brain reset. Fourth, masking erectile dysfunction. Some men tell me, "Doc, I have no problem alone, but when I'm with my partner, nothing happens." That's not just mental, it's often the body's early warning of something deeper: low testosterone, diabetes, or restricted blood flow. The fix? Don't ignore it. Get checked, because the sooner you address it, the easier it is to reverse. Fifth, nerve compression. If you're hunched over a hard chair or sitting too long in one position, you can pinch the pudendal nerve, the main nerve that controls sensation, in the pelvic area. Over time, that leads to numbness, tingling, or even chronic pain. The fix? Support your body. Lie back, relax, change positions. Give your body the comfort it deserves. Sixth, emotional escapism. When life gets stressful, it's easy to use pleasure as a quick exit, a momentary escape from boredom, fear, or loneliness. But if that becomes your only coping tool, you're not releasing tension, you're reinforcing it. The fix? Balance it with other healthy releases. Exercise, music, meditation, real human touch. Let masturbation be a tool, not a hiding place. Seventh, guilt and shame. Too many men carry old messages from religion or culture that this act is dirty, weak, or sinful. That shame eats away at confidence and causes unnecessary stress. The fix? Reframe it. This isn't sin, it's self-care, science-backed and completely natural. If guilt still weighs heavy, talk with a therapist who understands sexual health. You deserve peace with your body. Now, the last few risks are physical but subtle, and if you're not careful, they can sneak up quietly. Let's break down those final four. And how to stay in perfect balance. Eighth, pelvic congestion. Most men only hear one side of the story, that not releasing often enough can hurt your prostate. But here's the flip side. Doing it too often can cause a heavy, aching pressure in your lower pelvis. That's called pelvic congestion. Your veins swell from overuse, and blood circulation slows down. The fix? Listen to your body. If you feel heaviness, soreness, or dull pain, take a break. Your body thrives on rhythm, not repetition. Moderation isn't restriction, it's wisdom. Ninth, temporary drop in sperm quality. If you're trying to conceive, daily ejaculation can lower sperm concentration for a few days. It's not permanent, just short-term. Research shows 2 to 5 days of abstinence before intercourse produces the healthiest, strongest sperm. So, if fatherhood is still on your radar, give your body time to rebuild. 10th, porn-induced desensitization. This one's a modern epidemic. High-intensity, high-stimulation videos rewire the brain's reward system. Your mind starts expecting the impossible, angles, sounds, reactions, none of which exist in real life. The result? You feel disconnected from real touch, real emotion, real intimacy. The fix? Cut back on extreme visual content. Use imagination, memory, or sensation instead. Bring your attention back to what your body actually feels. Because here's the truth. Pornography isn't the enemy of pleasure. Dependency is. And when you break that cycle, you rediscover something far more powerful. Real connection. So let's put all of this together now. You've learned the benefits, you've learned the risks. But how do you actually find balance? How do you keep your confidence high, your body healthy, and your mind clear without falling into guilt or overuse? That's what we'll cover next. Your step-by-step action plan for healthy, mindful self-pleasure that keeps you strong, focused, and proud of who you are. All right, gentlemen, let's turn everything you've learned into a simple, powerful plan. Because knowledge means nothing without application. Here's how to keep your body strong, your mind clear, and your confidence high, while keeping this part of your life healthy and balanced. First, frequency. Moderation is key. Most studies show that releasing 2 to 5 times per week is a healthy rhythm for men over 50, enough to support prostate health and blood flow, but not so much that it causes fatigue or soreness. Listen to your body. If you feel drained afterward, cut back. If you feel tense and restless after long abstinence, allow release. Your body is the best feedback system you have. Second, environment and posture. Never rush or force it. Find a comfortable position that supports your body, not one that strains your back or compresses nerves. Avoid sitting hunched forward on hard surfaces. Lie down, relax, or recline in a supportive chair. Your body deserves comfort, not punishment. Third, use lubrication. This one's simple, but often ignored. Friction without moisture creates micro-tears that dull sensitivity over time. A good water-based lubricant protects your skin and heightens sensation naturally. Fourth, mindful stimulation. Don't make it mechanical. Slow down. Focus on breathing, sensation, and control. Try the stop, start, or squeeze method to build awareness and mastery. You'll notice more control, longer endurance, and deeper satisfaction, both alone and with a partner. 5th, balance the brain. Avoid using extreme porn as your only source of stimulation. That kind of visual intensity rewires your brain's reward system and disconnects you from real pleasure. Instead, use imagination, touch, or connection with your partner. Train your mind to respond to real life, not pixels. 6th, stay connected. Masturbation should never replace intimacy. Reach out, date, touch, hug, laugh. Connection keeps your brain and your heart young. Pleasure shared is always richer than pleasure alone. 7th, check your health. If your erections weaken, your drive fades, or you notice discomfort or numbness, see your doctor. Those could be signs of hormonal imbalance, vascular issues, or early prostate inflammation. Catching it early can save you years of frustration. And finally, be kind to yourself. This isn't shameful. This isn't wrong. This is part of being human, part of staying vibrant, alive, and aware of your own body. So, think of masturbate as a tool that can build your health or break your balance. It all depends on how you use it. Use it wisely, and it keeps your body flexible, your mind relaxed, and your confidence alive. Use it carelessly, and it can isolate you, numb you, and drain your vitality. The difference comes down to one thing: awareness. In the next part, we're going to go even deeper into the emotional truth behind all of this, why so many men still feel shame around something completely natural, and how to finally break free from it. Let's talk about something deeper now, something no lab test or study can measure: shame. For decades, men have been taught to feel guilt for their most natural instincts, taught that sexual desire after a certain age is something to hide, to joke about, or to silently bury. And I've seen it. Men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s, still whispering, "Doc, is it wrong that I still feel desire?" Let me say this as clearly as I can. No, it's not wrong. It's not dirty. It's not shameful. It's human. Your body was designed to feel pleasure, to crave touch, to release tension, to connect, both physically and emotionally. That drive doesn't vanish with age. It evolves. What changes is how you express it, how you honor it, and how you allow it to coexist with wisdom. Because here's what happens. When you carry shame, you disconnect. You start believing that your body is betraying you. You stop trusting it. You stop listening to it. And that, more than anything, is what accelerates aging. Shame tightens the muscles. It raises stress hormones. It crushes confidence. It dims the spark that keeps men alive from the inside out. But when you start seeing your body as a partner, not an enemy, everything changes. Masturbation, done consciously, becomes a form of self-respect. It's saying, "I care enough to maintain what's mine." It's keeping the blood flowing, the hormones balanced, the mind relaxed, and that confidence you regain seeps into every other part of life. How you walk, how you speak, how you lead, how you love. I've seen men who once felt old find new energy just by removing the shame and treating their sexuality as a part of their health, not a secret. So let me ask you this. When did we decide that aging meant surrendering? Who told you that passion has an expiration date? Because whoever said that was wrong. Age doesn't end desire. It deepens it. It makes it wiser, more intentional, and more powerful. And when you embrace that truth, you stop living in fear and start living with presence. So here's my message to you, man to man, doctor to patient. Your body is not the problem. The shame around it is. Let it go. You've earned the right to live without guilt, without embarrassment, and without apology. And when you do, you'll discover something extraordinary, that vitality isn't about youth. It's about connection. Now, before we end, I want to leave you with a final message, one that ties everything together. It's about power, about purpose, and about what it really means to stay strong as you age. Gentlemen, if you've stayed with me this far, I want you to take a deep breath. Because what we've just talked about isn't really about masturbation at all. It's about ownership. Ownership of your body, your health, your energy, and your identity as a man. You've spent years, maybe decades, taking care of others, your family, your career, your responsibilities. But how often have you taken care of yourself? That's what this conversation is about. It's about reclaiming your right to understand your body without shame or fear. to age on your own terms, strong, aware, and connected. So here's what I want you to do next. If something you heard today made you think differently, if it gave you relief, or maybe even challenged what you've believed, let me know in the comments. Tell me where you're watching from. Tell me your experience, your questions, your struggles. Because you're not alone. Thousands of men across the world are asking the same questions you are. They just needed someone to start the conversation. And I promise you this, I read those comments. And in future videos, I'll be answering the most important ones, personally. So don't stay silent. Your story might be the one that helps another man find peace with himself. And if you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. That small action helps me keep creating these open, stigma-free discussions about men's health, the kind most doctors never have in the exam room. Now, before we close, I want to leave you with one truth. Masturbation, when done with awareness, isn't weakness. It's maintenance. It's connection. It's confidence. And the men who age best, who stay sharp, balanced, and strong, are the ones who learn not to fight their biology, but to work with it. So take care of your body, respect it, listen to it, because it's been carrying you your entire life. And remember, your worth is not defined by age, performance, or perfection. It's defined by how you show up for yourself and for the people you love. Stay strong, stay curious, stay confident, and keep watching. Because in my next video, I'm going to reveal something even more surprising. A simple, natural way to restore energy and sensitivity that most men overlook completely. You won't want to miss it. I'm Dr. Amelia Hayes, reminding you that every stage of a man's life can be powerful, passionate, and deeply alive. If you just know how to take care of it. Stay well, gentlemen, and I'll see you in the next one.